Good morning to one and all present here. I'm Mitakshara from 4th SEM BA. A great person says, saying no to screen time means saying yes to something else. With this quote, I would like to welcome you all for the guest lecture on the screen time in adolescence, a boon or a bane. Now, I call upon Tanaya Kulkarni from 2nd PU G section to introduce his chief guest and deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, one and all present here. I am Tanaya Kulkarni from 2nd PUCG. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to deliver the welcome address and introduce the guest speaker of today. The speaker of today is Professor Deepa Ji, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology, Srimati VHD Central Institute of Home Science, Bengaluru. Ma'am is an inspiring teacher with 15 years of teaching experience. She has done her master's in psychology with child guidance as a specialization from Bangalore University and her MPhil from Annamalai University. She has also published many research papers in reputed journals and has recognized herself as a BOS and BOE member in many reputed institutes of Bangalore. Having such a great and vast experience in adolescent population, I feel she's the right person to deliver a lecture on screen time in adolescence, a boon or a bane. Hope it would be an eye-opening session for all of us, ma'am. I, on behalf of National College, Jayanagar, extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome our degree principal, Dr. B. Suresh, sir. Hearty welcome, sir. We have with us the principal of National PU College, Professor Mamatha ma'am. I welcome you, ma'am. We have with us Professor Geetha Srinivas, HOD of Psychology of Undergraduates. Welcome, ma'am. Professor Anupama ma'am is also there with us. I welcome you, ma'am. I extend a warm welcome to Professor Jayant M. Welcome, sir. I welcome Srimati Prema, Lab Assistant, Department of Psychology. Welcome, ma'am. Last but not the least, my dear friends, this session would not be a grand success without you. I welcome both PU and degree students for this session. Thank you. Have a nice day.
So, thank you, Tanaya. I also welcome you for this session. Now, I would like to hand over this session to Professor Deepa ma'am.
Good morning, one and all present here. Good morning to both the principals and my friends from the Department of Psychology, and good morning to my dear students. I would like to thank the person who did an introduction and call her mic. So any introduction of this sort puts me in a spot. I feel very delicate because I am still a learner. I have a very long way to go. And what I honestly feel is when I come here, rather than me giving you information, I learn a lot. It's a very gratifying experience being with students, being with the younger generation. Okay? That is what I feel. On a lighter vein, it makes us young. It makes us feel young both physically and psychologically. So with this, let me start with today's topic, screen timing in adolescence. So, right at the outset, I would like to say that I will not be, extensively using the PowerPoint presentation, because it will be an irony. I have been asked to talk about screen time, and if I make my audience, concentrate on the screen time, the whole purpose will be lost. So, and my spontaneity will also be lost. So I just want to, share my thoughts without too much of reliance on, relying too much on the PPT. I hope this is okay with all of you. Right. In screen time, as you all know, I don't need to explain, it's a self-explanatory term. Screen time is the time people spend on their electronic devices. It could be TV, it could be laptop, it could be your iPad. So any electronic device you spend time on is your screen time, right? And this particular topic, I feel is, very, I can relate to this topic, because this is what happened. I think I will get down the dais. I feel more comfortable, because the whole, I want to interact with you. I don't want to stand there. I feel very formal and awkward. So this is, the face-to-face interaction is much better, I feel. And I won't bore you. Let me tell you, I'll try to make it very crisp, and I'll try my level best to make it interesting also, right? So this particular topic, screen time, I can relate to it very well as a mother of 2 children. Okay, what I experienced during the pandemic time was, I was forced to give a lot of screen time to my children. You all know, we all underwent the 2 years of pandemic, and we were forced to teach online, and children were forced to learn online. There was too much of screen time for the kids. Okay, being a psychologist, being a mother, I was feeling very guilty, and also I was feeling out of control. I didn't know how to, manage. And very unfortunately, whatever screen time was before the pandemic, have we gone back to that level? It is a no. Okay, our screen time has increased. Is there anybody, are you okay, comfortable with the language, or should I ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳು ಅಂತಂದರೆ I don't mind? Or do I talk only in English?
You can mix both of them.
Okay, 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 it's fine. So that was a concern, a great concern for me, because it's a totally new territory and children are exploring on their own. We don't know what kind of content they come into contact with. It's quite dangerous. Okay, that is what, made me start thinking about these issues, right? But at the same time, okay, our technology ne beda anta heli, we cannot brush it aside, because technology is definitely going to stay, alva? You want it or not, whether you like it or not, there can be hundreds of debates saying that we don't want technology, adu makkalana haal madutte hage hige anta, but still technology is definitely going to stay. And how do we make use of this technology? So ivattu what I am going to tell you is more than, debating on the pros and cons of screen time. I thought it would be relevant if I were to tell you about how the screen time plays an important role in the identity formation. Since you are adolescents, okay, I thought this topic will be more relevant to you. Alva, ee tarunyavadiyalli idira. ಸೊ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬೀರುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಎಂಫಸೈಸ್ ಆನ್. ಓಕೆ, adolescence you all know. Okay, your psychology teachers would have told you about adolescence, a very important period, a crucial period in development. Alva, it is a transition from childhood to adulthood, right? And this age, this period, roughly 13 years to 18 years or 20 years, that is the time period of the adolescence. And as you all know, students of psychology, each developmental period will have a core task. Okay, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಿರುತ್ತೆ. You have to master that task. So what is the core task for you during adolescence? Let it be interactive. Core task, what is that you have to do during adolescence? It's a very important period, very sensitive period, right? And it is a period of immense opportunities. At the same time, it's a period of vulnerabilities. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವಕಾಶಗಳಿದೆಯೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ವಲ್ನರಬಿಲಿಟೀಸು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಾನ್ಕರ್ಡ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ 18, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಾನ್ಕರ್ಡ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ಹಂಗಲ್ಲ. It is a very sensitive period, very crucial period, because what you do during your adolescence will decide how you will be the next 20-25 years. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಿಡ್ಲ್ ಏಜ್ವರೆಗೂ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಈಗಲೇ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು ಟು ಬಿ ಅವೇರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಅಡಲೆಸೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್, ಕೋರ್ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್? ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಟೆಲ್ ಮೀ? Each stage in the lifespan, there is a developmental task. So adolescence alli identity formation becomes a very important task. What is this identity formation? Identity formation andre, who is the psychologist that we are reminded of? Excellent, Erik Erikson, right? Erik Erikson was one of the most influential thinkers, psychologists, and he came up with the psychosocial theory of development. So basically ಅವನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, there are 8 stages. Each stage there is a conflict. You have to resolve that conflict. Once you resolve the conflict, you will gain a virtue. ಪ್ರತಿ ಒಂದು ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಇಡೀ ಜೀವಿತಾವಧಿಯ ಪ್ರತಿ ಒಂದು ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಘರ್ಷಣೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಘರ್ಷಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮೀರಿ ನೀವು ಬಂದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಚ್ಯೂ, ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ವೆನ್ you successfully resolve the conflict, you get a virtue. That is what he says. So Erikson ಅವರ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ, in his theory, the 5th stage, are you aware of the 5th stage? That is relevant to the adolescence. The 5th stage, excellent, identity versus role confusion. So this is the stage that you are all in. Identity, what is the meaning of identity? Identity is the sense of self. ತನ್ನತನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ which is the direction that you are going to take, what are the choices that you are going to make, all right, and what are the roles that you are going to explore. Okay, ಹಲವಾರು ಪಾತ್ರಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಪಾತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಪಾತ್ರ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ, ಹಲವಾರು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ even we have gone through that phase of adolescence. One point of time I remember my own teenage years where I wanted to work very badly. So I decided I will go into some part-time job. ನನಗೆ ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಡ, ಏನು ಸಿಕ್ಕತ್ತೆ ನಂಗೆ ಓದಿದರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಗಾಡ್ ಮೈ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮೀ. ಐ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ದೆಮ್. ದೇ ಸೆಡ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ವೈ ಐ ಕೇಮ್ ಅಪ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್. ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೋಲ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ, ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್. Okay, so ಹೀಗಾದಾಗ what do we do? What exactly happens to us when we are small children, right? Pre-adolescence ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. During that phase, whatever our parents tell us, that is the gospel for us. We endorse everything that our parents tell. ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಹೇಳ್ದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಸತ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು. ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ, ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್, they exert a great influence. After that, when you are in your mid-adolescence, say around 14 years of age, then comes the rebellion. Okay, a very rebellious stage where you just want your values, you have your own beliefs, you start questioning everything around you. ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಈ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ತಲೆ ತಿಂತಾರೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಐ ನೋ ಇಸ್ ರೈಟ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮೈ ಓನ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್, ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಅಸರ್ಟ್ ಮೈ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ನನಗಿರೋ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು, ನನಗಿರೋ ನಂಬಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನು ಹೊರಗೆ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಎಂಡೋರ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಡ್ ಅಡಲೆಸೆನ್ಸ್. ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ us go through this phase, and how do we successfully resolve these kinds of issues when we try to incorporate our values as well as the values of the society. ಬರೀ my way or highway ಅಂತ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. What we do is, there is an amalgamation of whatever values I consider is important to me and also the values of the society. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ our identity will develop, right? I accept the values of the society, at the same time I have my own set of values. When there is a balance between these two, then only my identity starts forming, okay? And the virtue, when you resolve this conflict of identity versus role confusion, what is the virtue? What is the outcome? The successful outcome is, what is the virtue? It is fidelity. Fidelity anta heltivi. Fidelity is commitment. Okay, you become committed to friends, you become committed to issues, though there are ideological differences, okay, you still become committed to a cause, okay? ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಸಾಧ್ಯ? ನೀವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. Now, why am I telling all these things? Why am I bringing psychology? Why am I bringing Erikson here? The topic is screen time. There is a relevance. What I am trying to say here is how your developmental needs are met through the screen time, okay? Through the digital space, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಗತ್ಯಗಳು ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ, or are they getting thwarted? Are you really able to meet your developmental goal, okay? Or is it being thwarted? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಗತ್ಯಗಳು ಈ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಗತ್ಯ? ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕಟ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಮೆಸ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್, ಓಕೆ? ಈಗ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವರ್ಕ್, ದೆನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 20 years ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಪೀಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ಆಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೋ, ಓಕೆ? ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ, ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಯು? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬೀರ್ತಿದೆ? ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ನೋ, ಕಣ್ಣು ಹಾಳಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ sleep loss, all those things we know, it's very common. Just hit Google and it will give you a long list, okay? That is not what I am trying to say here. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದೇ ಬೇಡ ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಅಂತ. How is it really helping you in identity formation, or is it thwarting your identity formation? ನಿಮ್ಮ ತನವನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ಅಡ್ಡಿಪಡಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? That is what I am trying to put forth here. That is what I am trying to emphasize more, right? All right. Identity formation. Is there anything, should I go a little bit slow, or is the space okay with all of you? Fine. Okay. So, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, when I talk about identity formation, there are 3 important intrapersonal factors. Intrapersonal factors are factors within the individual, right? What are those 3 important factors? One is communion. Communion is, I want to be accepted by the others around me, okay? So, ತುಂಬ ಈ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಮೈ peers say, ನನ್ನ ಸಮವಯಸ್ಕರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, their acceptance, I have to be accepted by them. So, peer acceptance becomes a very important factor. I want to be loved by others, I want to be cared by others, I want to belong to a particular group. That is what I mean by communion, the first factor. Then there is a factor of agency. Agency andre, am I able to assert my personal beliefs and values? I don't agree with my parents. It is, I don't know, a period of roller coaster ride, okay? You must be experiencing, there are a lot of hormonal changes happening within the body, changes happening in the mind, and the things happening around you, putting a lot of pressure. Namge as teachers ansutte, okay? I was just discussing with Geetha ma'am. There's a student of mine, avಳು ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ classes attend ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, okay? Reason is she wants to do reels, okay? This is something, I don't know, maybe at this age it is I feel it's a little weird. At the cost of missing classes, she goes, she makes reels and she uploads them on the Instagram. I was very curious. I called her. See, of course, psychology teachers are niಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬೈಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಬೈತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಂಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ I was asking her. She said, ma'am, I want to upload reels ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. Then I asked, why? What is the need? Reels ಯಾಕಮ್ಮ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಾ? Whatever she wants to express, she expresses those things through the reels. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಅಥಾರಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಯು ನೋ who authoritarian parents are. They don't allow her to speak. Okay, so she is exerting her values, her opinions, her beliefs through reels. ನೀವು ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. There are better platforms. You don't have to, resort to reels. Right. So agency is where the individual is exerting their personal beliefs, their personal values. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Then there is coherence, another factor, intrapersonal factor, coherence. What is this coherence? Coherence is where I am trying to strike a balance between the two. It is not that I have to listen to authority, at the same time ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಲ್ಲ. Okay, I have to strike a very fine balance between what society is expecting of me and what my own needs are. ನನಗೇನು ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. At the same time, I need to listen to the what is going on around me. I need to adhere to the norms of the society. So I need to strike a fine balance. That is what I mean by coherence. So these three important needs, okay, what are they? The intrapersonal factors that I am talking about: communion, agency and coherence. All these three, what do we notice when we use the social media or any electronic media for that matter? Are these needs being actualized? ಈ ಅಗತ್ಯಗಳು ನೀವು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಬಳಸುವಾಗ ಅದು ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ, ಆರ್ ಆರ್ ದೇ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ವಾರ್ಟೆಡ್? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಡೆ ಹಿಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ರೈಟ್? So let me first take up the first factor, that is communion. Communion is I need to feel accepted. I need to belong to a group. For me, peer acceptance becomes the utmost. ಈ ಏಜಲ್ಲಿ ಹೌದು ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳಿದ ಯಾವುದೋ ಸರಿ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. However my peers are, I need to belong to that group. They need to accept me. They need to care for me. I need to develop a very strong emotional bonding with them, right? So the communion need. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯೂಶಲಿ? You all know, see, I'm not even on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, you may call me obsolete, but still, personally, I don't believe in being in all those groups. Of course, WhatsApp for the sake of convenience. ಈಗ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಡೂ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದು ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ವೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಅಂತ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಹೋದರೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಆನ್ ಲೀವ್ ಟುಡೇ, ಶುಡ್ ವಿ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ. ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್, ಎಸ್. Other than WhatsApp, I don't know, you people are better informed than me when it comes to all these social media. So what happens with the communion need, right? The need to feel accepted. When I post something on my Facebook, what happens? I have a Facebook account or an Insta. I post. When I post, what happens? I immediately feel there are people like me and I immediately feel a connect. Okay, there is a social connectedness. I feel that I am like them. So I start empathizing with them or they start empathizing with me. So to this extent, my communion needs are being met. Okay, ನಾನು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನೇನೋ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅವ್ರು ತಿರುಗಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಮೇ ಅಗ್ರಿ ವಿತ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಸೇ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್. To this extent, the needs are met. But at the same time, ನೀವು ಈ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ there is lot of social comparison. ಯಾರೋ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ you will see a lot of conflicts happening in the family. And one thing is, this kind of a trend is seen across all age groups. ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ನಮ್ಮಂಥ middle aged people, old people also, they just can't stay away from their phones. ಎಲ್ಲೋದ್ರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸೆಲ್ಫಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. More than memory, and that has to be, okay, I go somewhere, I click a pic with my family, that becomes a memory, a precious memory for me. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, it goes beyond that. That has to be instantly put up. ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಹಾಕೊತಾರೆ. ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಾಗ what happens is, there are others who don't have that level of maturity. Okay, she has gone there, look at her wealth. ಅವಳು ಪಾಪ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ God knows what trauma she's undergoing, but you just see what is on the Facebook or on the Instagram and instantly you start making a social comparison and you start feeling jealous. Allello hogidale, somebody was telling me, a colleague of mine, look at this person, she has gone to Leh Ladakh, it's wonderful, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಅಂತ. Look at this, at our age, at this age, middle aged people, we are making comparisons. ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಉರ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ರಜಾ ಸಿಕ್ತು, ಹಂಗೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ. So this is what happens when you're posting something, right? It gives rise to a lot of such happenings, right? Then if at all you are posting something genuine, then maybe it will help in your psychological well-being. ನೀವು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಏನಾರ ತುಂಬ ಜೆನ್ಯೂನ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವೇನೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಮೇ ಬಿ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಯು. See, what I am trying to tell is I am talking about both the things. How social media or screen time is helping you, at the same time how it is thwarting your needs anta. ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Okay, two sides of the same coin, two faces of the same coin. I hope I am making sense to all of you. ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಂತೀರಾ? You have been forced to sit here and listen to me. Fine. All right. Then moving on to the next need. Okay, video games. How about video games? Can you tell me if video game is meeting this communion need? Are they helpful? You play a lot of video games. Nimge gottirutte, nange gottilla. So when you play these video games, you need to be accepted by others. You need to form a connect. Is that need being met? No or yes. To some extent there are certain games, it seems, which foster cooperation, which foster that social connect. Yavado family ante, I don't know, family na farming, I don't know what that game is. That is supposed to be a game you play and it fosters a lot of cooperation. I don't know, you buy a plot and you buy it's called township. ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಟೀನೇಜ್ ಡಾಟರ್, ಶಿ ಗೇವ್ ಮಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್. ಶಿ ಸೆಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಗೇಮ್ಸ್, ವೈ ಡು ಯು ಸೇ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್? ಇದು ಅವಳು ಜ್ಞಾನ, ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಶಿ ಸೆಡ್ ಟೀಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್, ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಟೌನ್ಶಿಪ್. ಯು ಒಂದು ಟೌನ್ನೇ ನೀವು ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಂತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋದಂತೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಥರ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಆಟ ಆಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸೇರಿ ಯು ಆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿ, ಕಮ್ ಆನ್. It just does not make any sense to me. But to some extent it seems it fosters cooperativeness, teamwork. But what is the content of your video games? It is so violent, right? And all mundane content. Nim tale antu intellectual development zero. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? ಬುದ್ಧಿ ವಿಕಾಸ ಏನಾರು ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಖಂಡಿತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಗೇಮ್ಸು. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಕೋಆಪ್ರೇಷನ್, ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ, ಯು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಹಾಸ್ಟೈಲ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಿಂಗ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಲೈಫ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆತ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸೋ ಓವರ್ವೆಲ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫಿಲ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಹಾಸ್ಟಿಲಿಟಿ. ತುಂಬ ಒಂಥರ ಹಗೆತನ, ಹೆಂಗಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೋಲಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. People who are addicts, I don't know how they even manage, because their whole day is spent in gaming on the social media. So this is the extent to which the communion needs are met and thwarted. Okay, that is the first aspect of it. Then the next need that I was telling you, agency. Agency andre where you are assertively telling, where you are openly telling what your personal values are, ವಾಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಿಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಆರ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಂಬಿಕೆಗಳೇನು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಯು ಬೋಲ್ಡ್ಲಿ ಸೇ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಯು ಪುಟ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್, ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಸೇ there is a particular issue, I am for this issue, I don't like this. So this is the platform where you are openly expressing what you feel like telling. To that extent it is helpful. Okay, it is giving you a platform. But what happens is, when you are not able to express yourself, you will experience a lot of decline in your self-esteem. Self-esteem e halagogbidate. If somebody is posting something and you post something else, do people keep quiet? it's just a simple lecture I am giving. Okay, there are some of you who are interested, some of you are not interested, some of you might be sitting and trolling me, right? ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲೇ ಈ ಥರ ಆದಾಗ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಅ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನಾನಿಮಸ್, ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಇವನ್ ನೋ ಹೂ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇಸ್, ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಹೈಲಿ ಟ್ರೋಲ್ಡ್, ಯು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ? ಯು ಆಲ್ ನೋ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೆವರ್ ಡನ್ ದಟ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ದಟ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಟು ಸೇ ದ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ, ಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಸೈಬರ್ ಬುಲಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಂಟಮೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಯು ಬುಲೀಡ್ ಸೋ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ಲಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ರಿಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸು. ಎಂಥ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್, ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಹರ್, ಐ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಯಸ್, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಟ್ರೋಲ್ಡ್? ನೀನು ರೀಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ಯಾರು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರ್ತಾರ, ಏನು ಯಾರೋ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಗಾಡ್ ನೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ವಾಚಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಈಗ ನಾವೇ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾರೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮದು ರೀಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ, ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಶಾಕ್. ಯಾರೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಮೇಡಮ್ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸೋ ಡೇಂಜರಸ್, ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ದೇರ್. Okay, whether you like it or not, you are being a part of it. And when you are expressing your opinions like this, okay, there are millions of people, and what is their maturity level? Are they highly evolved beings? Okay, ತುಂಬ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇರೋರು ಅಥವಾ ಪರಿಪಕ್ವತೆ ಇರೋರು ಅವರು? ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ನೋ. ಓಕೆ, ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ ದೇರ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಟ್ರೋಲ್ಡ್. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಟ್ರೋಲ್ಡ್, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್? ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಸ್ಟೀಮ್ ಕುಗ್ಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಹಾಳಾಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಡಿಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳೋದೆ ಅದೇ ಪರಮ ಸತ್ಯ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. Okay, so that is one flip side. And how about confidentiality, privacy? Ivella helutte, all these social medias, they say all this information is kept confidential anta. Is it really true? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಯಲು ಪಡಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋ ಟು ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, you on Facebook, you like the friend request, I don't know, I basically don't know how it works, not even interested to know for that matter. So you send a friend request, you accept that. Does it mean that only these people will have access to your information? ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನು? ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಗೋಸ್. Okay, it goes to everybody, right? That is another issue with confidentiality. And there was a time during identity formation, all of us make mistakes during adolescence. Optiro ilvo? That is how you explore different roles, and that is how your identity is formed. Back then when you made mistakes, back then when you were foolish or you did something antisocial, people would forget that after some time. ನೀವೇನೋ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಏನೋ ಆಂಟಿಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ತುಂಬ ಪೆದ್ದಾಗೇನೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಜನ ಮರ್ತೋಗೋರು, ನೀವು ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ತಿದ್ರಿ. ಆದರೆ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ನಾವು? ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ದೇರ್, ಸ್ಟ್ರೂನ್ ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ವಯಸ್ಸಾದರೂ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ವಿಷಯಗಳು. ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇರೇಸ್ಡ್ ಸೋ ಕ್ವಿಕ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ಬ್ಲೋ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಸ್ಟೀಮ್. ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಕುಗ್ಗಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೂ ಬೇಡ. ಓಕೆ, ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ಬ್ಲೋ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಸ್ಟೀಮ್. And then the next factor that I was talking about, coherence. What is this coherence? I try to strike a fine balance between what I feel and what society expects me to do. Okay, ಸಮಾಜ ನನ್ನಿಂದ ಏನು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳೇನು, ಎರಡರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ I try to balance the two. So how is this coherence need met? Okay, coherence need through internet. What happens is you are spending so much time doing something else. Okay, you are seeking approval from all strangers. Okay, you are seeking affirmation from strangers. There are so many people outside, you are trying to get their approval. Are you really working on your beliefs, on your values? Are you trying to improve them? ಯಾರೋ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಇರೋರಿಗೆ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಪಡಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ. ದ ಹೋಲ್ ಲೈಫ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಪೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಫರ್ಮೇಷನ್, ಅಪ್ರೂವಲ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಂಜರ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಟು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಂಜರ್ಸ್, ಮನೆಯವರ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಂಜರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್? ಆರ್ ಯು ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎನ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್? ಆರ್ ಯು ಎಂಗೇಜಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್? ಓಕೆ, ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇದು ಸರಿನಾ, ಇದು ತಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ? ನೋ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಟೈಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ವೇರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಸೋ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೈಕ್, ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಒತ್ತಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ somebody has tweeted something, you like that, you immediately go into that mode of retweeting. And studies have shown that apart from searching information, relevant information related to your studies, adolescents spend a whopping 9 hours average on an average 9 hours per day with their phones or any kind of social media. Yes or no? Don't you do that? See, I'm not judging you. That is the trend. I'm just trying to say how it hinders your development, how it hinders your identity formation, right? So apart from this, okay, what are the other, so let us not just harp on the disadvantages and say that, okay, it is bad, it is bad. Like I told you in the beginning, technology is here to stay, okay, and technology will make further advancements in the future. Okay, we will not stagnate. ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೂ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೇ ವಿಕಾಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಡು ವಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್? Okay, you have to strike a balance. And how do you strike a balance? What is very important here is you concentrate on the content. Okay, if you watch something bad, then definitely that will be detrimental to your growth, detrimental to your development. So the content and also how much time you are spending. I'm out of curiosity, I'm asking you, how much time do you generally spend on your phones? Just as I am talking, there are people, who are with their phones watching something. I am not judging you. I have been used to this kind of a crowd. So absolutely not an issue. But I am just trying. I am talking about screen time and people here are having their phones and they are scrolling. Right? So how much time do you spend? Shtena? 7 to 8. Who is saying 7 to 8? What do you generally do? It's again out of curiosity. I am not at all judging you. I am not being, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇವರು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕುತೂಹಲಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನೆಟ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಟ್ವಿಟರ್, ಗೇಮಿಂಗ್, ಸ್ನ್ಯಾಪ್ಚಾಟ್, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್, Facebook, class group, right? So is there any point of time where you have got material that helped you with your studies, that helped you with your project, your assignment? Kandita help ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. How do you think I came up with all this information? Google. Of course, see, I'm not trying to say it is all gloom and doom. There are a lot of advantages. See, especially after COVID, we teachers also became very tech savvy. We started going to sites which gave us important insights and information. Please don't mistake me. Going to sites andre ಏನು ಅನ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. So when we are, earlier there was a time when we used to go to the library, sit, pull out books. But there are so many books online, soft copies of books, journals, articles. So this will give you so much of information. If you are interested, if you want to make the best use of it, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, you can go see amazing information you have. Okay, it will help you academically also. ನಿಮಗೆ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. That is one thing. And if the content is good, it will enhance your critical thinking. Okay, critical thinking, your ability to think, your ability to evaluate. Okay, ವಿಮರ್ಶಾತ್ಮಕ ಆಲೋಚನೆಯೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಿಮರ್ಶೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೀರಾ? ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೌ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್. ಇವ್ರು ಏನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಬಿಗ್ ಸರ್ಮನ್ ಅಂತ. But after 10 years, you will realize I shouldn't have done this, right? So critical thinking will be enhanced if you look at the right kind of content. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿರೋ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬುದ್ಧಿಶಕ್ತಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಲೋಚನಾ ಶಕ್ತಿ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಶಕ್ತಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ, ಆಲೋಚನಾ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And creativity is enhanced, okay? You do something, you find out something and you try to come up with something new, your creativity is enhanced. And there are people who feel left out for some reason, okay? They are minorities or people with disabilities, and a very alarming trend that is coming, this LGBTQ. I don't know whether I should be talking about that. Serious identity issues here, okay? We talk about LGBTQ. More and more such people are coming and they are sharing their opinions, they are sharing their stories, and they get a lot of support from others, okay? That is another very debatable topic. But what I am trying to say here is, all those who feel that they have been, for some reason they feel they are secluded from the mainstream, they find a platform, they feel socially included. That is one advantage, okay? The advantage is apart. So I don't know, as a teacher, as a parent, I find that there are more disadvantages, okay? What happens when you are constantly with the computer or the laptop or your mobile screen? Your sleep is 100% affected. Most of them yawn in the class. 9 ಗಂಟೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ they yawn, they sit right in the front, ಅಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, okay? When you ask them and the eyes look so droopy, ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ 2 ನಿಮಿಷಕ್ಕೆ ನಿದ್ದೆನೂ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. I have seen students do that. Of course it's a very common occurrence. Why do you do that? ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಚಾಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ 1 ಗಂಟೆವರೆಗೂ ಅಂತ. 1 o'clock, 1:30, there are people who change their profile, their status ಮಧ್ಯರಾತ್ರಿ 2 ಗಂಟೆನಲ್ಲಿ. What does it mean? What are you doing? Your entire biological rhythm is just spoiled, okay? You are supposed to sleep. You're supposed to sleep, not be awake and using the screen. That will really impact your quality of sleep. ನಿದ್ರೆನೇ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಿದ್ರೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ what happens the next day? What happens to your performance? You will not be able to concentrate for sure, okay? That is one thing. And another, so many of these studies have shown that obesity is on the rise, okay? Bojju anta heltivalla, that is on the rise, especially among teenagers. Why is that on the rise? Because it is a sedentary activity. ಏನಾರು ದೈಹಿಕವಾಗಿ ಎದ್ದು ಓಡಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, there is no physical activity, you're just glued to the screen. And when you do this, there is a tendency to eat, okay? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿನ್ನೋ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ. So what is happening? There is no physical activity and metabolism also drops down, okay? So obesity is on the rise. Of course all these things are very common things that all of us know. And then the social media influencers, that is what I wanted to talk to you about. Who are these social media influencers? Can you name, what is the meaning of a social media influencer? You will be aware of all these people. They promote products, then they make content.
Share their opinions and think that they influence you.
Yes, and you get carried away by them, don't you? Okay, what is a great thing that Kim Kardashian has done? Oh yappa, there's so many followers. What is that? Has she contributed positively to the society? ಏನಾರ ಆಕೆ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸಿಂದ ಏನಾರು ಒಂದು ಧನಾತ್ಮಕವಾದ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಏನಾರು ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಾ? ನಥಿಂಗ್, okay? It's just her sob story, right? And there are so many people who get influenced by this type of content, okay? And this vlogging, oh my god, what are you doing? You are opening your most intimate aspects of your life, the most private aspects of your life, and you're just throwing it out into the public. It's a very dangerous thing. ಅದೆಲ್ಲೋ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದು, and it looks, I don't know, maybe at this age I can't relate, Okay, because I'm a middle-aged person and I just can't relate to such content. Ishtu silly anta ansake shuru agutte. What happens with these social media influencers is you get a very wrong perception about what is ideal. Okay, ಅವ್ರೇನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೀವು ಅದೇ ಸರಿ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀರ. Ideal weight, especially teenage girls, ideal weight, then ideal profession, the ideal life. So you get so influenced by their perception or by their portrayal of ideal. ಅವ್ರ ಐಡಿಯಲ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಸರಿ, ಹೌದು ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದೇ ಸರಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊತೀರ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ರೈಸ್ ಟು ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, and apart from this, especially if you are accessing inappropriate content, that can also there are so many people who are addicted to porn movies. Okay, that has become a serious addiction, getting addicted to inappropriate content. That is alla nago vishaya alla adu. There are people who are so addicted, and there is a technology de-addiction center that is run by Nimans. Gotta nimge technology de-addiction center ondu Nimans alli they have opened. Okay, because your screen time, spending too much time on the media is very much like any kind of addiction. Okay, what is drug addiction, or you are addicted to alcohol, addiction to food, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? What do I mean by addiction? You cannot stay. Psychologically and physiologically you start depending on the drug or the alcohol. Okay, the same kind of dependence you find here. Enta addiction andre, if that is removed, what are withdrawal symptoms? When a person is prevented from using the drug or alcohol, what happens? He experiences a lot of these withdrawal symptoms. There is nausea, he starts trembling, he gets severe stomach cramps, and he just can't. Okay, he just can't contain himself. ಅದೇ ಥರ ವಿಡ್ರಾವಲ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೋನ್ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ತೆಗೆದು ಇಟ್ಟುಬಿಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ. ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಟು ಯು? ಆರ್ ಯು ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫೋನ್? Especially people who are addicted. See, there are so many cases that are brought to this technology de-addiction center. Technology go addiction agidare andre, it is really a sorry state of affairs. So what are the problems? Common problems or common symptoms, they just cannot stay without their phones, and they have to constantly keep checking the messages. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಮ್ಮ? Please don't do it. Okay, in class I have observed phone ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಹಿಂಗಂತ ಇರೋದು. What are you doing? Come on, 1 hour ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವಾ? Okay, no impulse control. That is what your media is making you. There's absolutely, you can't control yourself. Instant gratification. ನಂಗೆ ಬೇಕು, I want to see something, let me check. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. They do it. You will not believe, principal was addressing us. First row nalle. Sorry madam, I have to tell this. She's telling something so important. ಫೋನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವಳು ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರೋಳು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಮೇ ಬಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ರೀಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ. ಟು ದಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವರ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೈಲ್ಡ್. ಶಿ ಸ್ನ್ಯಾಚ್ ದ ಫೋನ್, ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದರು. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಂಬ್ತಿರೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ಶಿ ಕ್ರೈಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ವಾಸ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. ಶಿ ಸೆಡ್, ಗೆಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಆಗ್ತಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. ವಿ ವರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಶಾಕ್ಡ್. ಈ ಡ್ರಗ್ ಅಡಿಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ರಿಹ್ಯಾಬಿಲಿಟೇಷನ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಸೇಮ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ. We could see those typical symptoms. ಫೋನ್ ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅವಳ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ರಿಪ್ರಮ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಹರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ. ಫೋನ್ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಹೌ ಡು ಐ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಡೇ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಮೈ ಫೋನ್? ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಟೀನೇಜರ್ಸ್, ತುಂಬ ವೆರಿ ಟ್ರಿವಿಯಲ್ ರೀಸನ್. ಇಟ್ ಸೀಮ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್. A 13-year-old girl, the mother told her to delete her Facebook account. She committed suicide. This is the reason, nothing else. ನೀವು ಅನ್ಕೋಬೋದು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋ ಸಿಲ್ಲಿ, ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಬೇರೆ ಕಾರಣ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ನೋ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಓಕೆ, they just can't be apart from their phone. And there is something called nomophobia. Have you heard of it? No mobile. Mobile illa andre my life comes to a standstill. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಗದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೈ ಲೈಫ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲಿಟ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಅದು ಬೇಡವೇ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಅಂತ. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ವೇರ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವಿತ್ ಅಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಲಾಂಗ್ ವೇ ಟು ಗೋ. Okay, how do we deal with this? You all know too much, tumba ಏನಾರು ಅಮೃತನೂ ವಿಷ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, too much is too bad. How do you strike a balance? What do you do? Okay, how many of you after having listened to this, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ? when you please be honest. ವೆರಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಹುಡುಗಿರೇ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹೌ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್? ಶ್ಯೂರ್? ವೆರಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್. ನೋ? ಓಕೆ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಡೂ ಅ ಸ್ಟಡಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫೈನ್. ಹೌ ಡು ವಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್? ಈಸಿಯರ್ ಸೆಡ್ ದನ್ ಡನ್, ರೈಟ್? It's very easy to say, ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಇವತ್ತಿಂದ ನಾನು I have decided I am not going to touch my mobile ಅಂತ. Is that so easy? It's not easy. So you have to be committed, and there is something called digital detox. Detox ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ? When there is so much of toxin in the body, you follow a certain method and you make sure that you are rid of the toxins and you become healthy again. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಈ ಫೋನಿನ ಇದು ಹೋಗೋ, ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫೋನ್, ದ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ, ದ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಆರ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಅ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಡಿಟಾಕ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಡಿಟಾಕ್ಸ್? ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಡಿಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ರಿವೈರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಇರಬೇಕೋ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು, you make a strict schedule and you follow that schedule. You make sure that you are not crossing the limits. So what is okay for you? Okay limits ಅನ್ನೋದೇನು? 1 hour a day? That's very less. Why is it less?
1 hour we have to write assignments. We have to use.
Okay, see, when you're doing something productive, that is fine. Other than your studies for academic purposes, for research, assignment, apart from that, ದಿನ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರೀತೀರಾ ನೀವು? ದಿನ ಓದ್ತೀರಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್? ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಎನಫ್? ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಓಕೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೇನೆ? half an hour is enough. Yeah, I think so. ನೀವು ದಿನ ಬರೀತೀರೇನ್ರಿ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸು? you have a library? You can go and refer to the books. Okay, that is fine. Maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours. When you're doing it productively, when the content is something that is enhancing your skills, when the content is something that is giving you knowledge, okay? Other things don't give you knowledge. So you need to be very selective in the time, the kind of content you are seeing and the time you spend on your screens. That is very important, okay? And you have to be very mindful. What do I mean by mindful? Mindful is being aware, being conscious of what you are doing. Okay, each minute you have to be mindful. Mindful andre there are, you see people in restaurants. Elladru, recently I had been to a pilgrimage place. It's so crowded. People are glued to their phones. Bandirod yake? The whole purpose is defeated. You have come to a pilgrimage center. You are standing outside and you are clicking selfies. Devasthana ado. Come on, give yourself a break. And people are constantly scrolling. Why at all do you come? ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಸೆಲ್ಫಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲೇಬೇಡಿ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಹೋಮ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಮೈಂಡ್ಫುಲ್, which is the place where am I, what am I doing, another, that kind of mindfulness should be there. Okay, and especially when you are with family and when you are with friends and in classrooms also, please don't use mobiles. It's very annoying. You ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ 1 hour 1.5 hours ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಕಾಂಟೆಂಟ್ ತಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್. ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಯು? Ultimately teachers ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, they are fine, they have acquired whatever knowledge, skills that they have to acquire. You will be the losers. So you have to be very mindful when you are using the mobiles, and you have to minimize your screen time, please. Okay, draw a line somewhere. Okay, reflect, sit, think back, think and understand that this is the crucial stage, very crucial, where your identity is forming. ಈಗ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬೋದು this lady is talking nonsense, ಏನು identity, that is okay, I will manage my life ಅಂತ. Next 20 years, what you are doing now will have an impact on the next 20 years of your life. Then there will be a lot of regret, trust me. If you don't do things right now, there will be a lot of regret 20 years afterwards. 40 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನಾನು ಅಂತ. Then it will be too late. Okay, so being mindful, minimizing the use of screen and understanding what are the risks associated with the digital content or the digital space. Okay, so this is how you can make the best use of technology, because we have no other option. We have to live with technology. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಡವೇ ಬೇಡ, ನಾವು ಬಳಸೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆ ರೀತಿನೂ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. At the same time, you don't make it an addiction. Okay, so as our humanistic psychologists say, we are in control of our destiny. Okay, we have the free will to choose what is right and what is not. So with this, I will end my talk. I know there were people who were getting highly distracted. That's fine. Yeah. See, there are people who work. Okay, of course. Your physical symptoms definitely will be seen. They will have dry eyes, they will have lot of other issues related. But they are on their screen, they are doing it for a career. They are not simply, just going there, sitting there, scrolling, doing unwanted things. There are people who are into that profession, they have no other choice. They have to be in front of the screen. Of course, it's understood. Yes. ಇನ್ನೇನಾರು ಇದೆಯಾ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್? Yes. Can you ask her what?
As you said while addressing that LGBTQ as a topic is
Yeah.
so why do you think it is important?
It is. See, why LGBTQ? In the sense, are you so confused about your identity? I have, the latest thing is they use pronouns, they, them anta. I am not confused about my identity. I'm not being homophobic, but it definitely is detrimental. Okay, when you don't have clarity about who you are, come on.
But gender
Isn't it an aberration, don't you think? See, you may find me obsolete, you may find me old, you may find me conservative. There are two genders.